I had a question of my own, thinking about all this conclave stuff. How did we come to do things this way? How did we come to have a conclave? Like, because I knew it wasn't like this forever. Obviously, when the apostles chose the successor of Judas, they didn't have a conclave, they didn't have a vote. They had like two candidates and they cast lots. So I'm like, how did this whole thing, build? So we have an article here from Vatican News, and they talk about the history of the conclave. So they say the conclave from the Middle Ages to the present day. The conclave as we know it today goes back to the Middle Ages and was established to prevent a prolonged vacant see, sede vacante, and outside interference. The term conclave comes from two Latin words, cum and clavis. In church terminology, it designates both the secluded place where the papal election is held and the body of cardinals convened there to elect the new pope. The conclave was formally established in 1274, and I could see why. I could see how this speeds things up, uh, especially in the way that it is now where they're secluded. I don't know if they were always secluded like this, but that's got to make you kind of want to get out of there. That's got to give you a sense of urgency. Like, all right, let's just get somebody in so we can get out of here. Obviously, hopefully they're still choosing wisely and all that. But yeah. So they say the upcoming conclave starting on May 7th to elect the 267th Pope will be the 76th in the form we know today, which was established by Pope Gregory the 10th in 1274, and the 26th held under the gaze of Michelangelo's Last Judgment in the Sistine Chapel. So since 1274, what is that? I'm bad at math. What is that, 800 years ago or so? Almost 800 years ago? We've been doing it like this longer than Protestantism has existed. Over the centuries, various reforms gradually shaped the procedure for the election of the Pope. The first significant changes were introduced by Pope Nicholas II in 1059 with the bull In Nomine Domini, which specified that only cardinals could elect the Roman pontiff. Before that, the successor of Peter was chosen with the participation of the ecclesial community. Clergy assessed candidates proposed by the faithful, and bishops chose the Pope. External influences and interference from political powers, of course, played a major role in the election, often hindering the electoral process. Yeah. So good thing that there's no longer that problem. In 1179, Pope Alexander III promulgated the constitution Licet de Vitanda, introducing the requirement of a two-thirds majority, a key element that remains today. This had me thinking about like, is it's is the choice of a new pope, the selection of a new pope, is that infallible? As we say, like ecumenical councils are infallible because it's the whole church coming together to declare something. There are certain papal declarations that are infallible, things like that. So, is the election of a new pope infallible? And the answer that I've come across time and time again is no, the election of a new pope is not infallible. Obviously, everybody there is praying for the guidance of the Holy Spirit, but just because somebody gets a two-thirds majority vote in a conclave doesn't mean that that is definitively who the Holy Spirit has chosen or something like that. So that's interesting, which is like it makes sense because otherwise, if the process has changed, then that would question like how could this be infallible if the process of choosing a pope has changed over time. Um, so I think it's recognized by the authorities in the Catholic Church that this is a human process, a practical process that while people are praying for the guidance of um, the Holy Spirit is not necessarily like the chosen pope is not necessarily an infallible decision. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, as Burt Reynolds says here, the conclave can resist the graces of the Holy Spirit in choosing the new pope. Exactly. So that's just an interesting note that I was thinking about uh, as I was learning about all this.